Hi, my name is Kent Lee. I work for Hewlett-Packard Enterprise on the Dragon project. I work with a team of really talented people, and Dragon is still under active development, but it's reached a level of maturity now that I am excited to share with you. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up an environment to have access to all of the source code and be able to run it on any platform on a laptop. I'm specifically doing laptop configuration at this point. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about the environment and what you want to set things up. So the first thing I would say is that you're going to probably want to install Docker. Docker Desktop is available for free and can be downloaded, so you can go ahead and download that. If you are on a Windows platform, you can install the WSL2. You're going to want that because Dragon runs inside of a Linux environment. And then the other thing that you'll want to install is Visual Studio Code, especially for what I'm going to go through in this video. So Visual Studio Code is also free. Get the community version of it and download that and install it. So once you've got those two things installed, then you can go to github.com, DragonHPC Dragon. If you forget and don't know all of those, you can actually, or that whole URL, you can go to you can just go to dragonhpc.org, either way. So this is our Dragon website, and then from here you can go to the Git repo if you need to. So in this case, we certainly want to. So I'm just going to download the zip here for our source code. It is open source, of course, so you can download that, and then I'm going to go ahead and unzip that, and actually we'll just start fresh here. So I'll unzip that and I will put it on desktop in this case so that we've got access to that. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up Visual Studio Code. We'll do open folder. We'll go to the desktop, open Dragon main. It's going to pop up and say that whether I want to reopen in a container or not. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then it will build a container, and this may take some time depending on whether you have built a container like this in the past or not. There are files that are cached by Docker Desktop, so I may, depending on how long this takes, I may cut a little bit of this out. Okay, so at some point you're going to see that you get down to maybe where there's just a few port forwarding messages. Those are fine. You could ignore those. At this point, we would want to open up a terminal window. That dev container one can probably be trashed, or it might exit on its own at some point. But we can open up a terminal window. We're ready to go ahead and start doing things. The first thing you're going to want to do when you have cloned this or downloaded the zip file is go ahead and build it. And we have a nice script set up for that. And it's just called hack clean build. And you put the dot in front of it so that we can modify the current environment. We're going to create a virtual environment for this to run in. You're going to want to do these steps if you're interested in running on a Mac laptop for now. We will have ARM or Mac Silicon support for running Dragon inside of a Docker container, and so eventually you wouldn't need to build the build from source code, but for now we're going to build Dragon from source code. This will take just a few minutes here to get this built. I'll probably cut a little bit of this out. Okay, so when the build completes, you will see something like workspaces Dragon main, and you should see that it successfully installed some DragonHPC with some version number after it. Once you've done that, then we can go ahead and just try a very simple program here to make sure that everything looks okay. So I'm just going to create a new file, and I'm going to call it test.py, and I'll just create it right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and import Dragon, and then I'm going to import multiprocessing. And I'm going to write a def main for myself. And I'm going to say, actually, I want to import multiprocessing as MP. And I'm going to say mp.set start method. And we're going to set it to Dragon. And then I'm going to do the most basic thing here in this video just to show that it has been set up. This is a Dragon program because Dragon is also Python. So there's my very, very simple Dragon program. Does not demonstrate the features of Dragon, but it will demonstrate that Dragon is installed and running. To go ahead and run this, what we do is we just type Dragon. We already have a virtual environment created because the build did that for us. So we'll just type Dragon and then the name of our program, test.py. And there it ran, and we exited successfully. So Dragon is installed and ready to use. The nice thing about building it from source is that we have all of the examples. So there's an examples directory with a bunch of different example code in it. And then we have actually a test directory that has a whole bunch of code that we use for testing Dragon. And that also has nice samples in it of a lot of different little snippets of code that use Dragon. So in the next video, I will introduce you to using Jupyter along with Dragon, a Jupyter notebook. And we'll get started showing you how you might use, for example, an entire cluster inside a Jupyter notebook. Until then.